One of the most common questions I get all the time, I've been actually reading your comments. I'm not really good at it, but I have been doing it from time to time. And it's always like, hey, where do I get that t-shirt you're wearing? And I'm always like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just go look at my links. ViolentNomad.com. The one I'm wearing today is a navy blue blank with some gold and white navy attributions. And if the pirate in you wants a shirt like this, then just go on over to ViolentNomad.com and get yourself the Buccaneer. Okay, so all the shirts I ever wear is from ViolentNomad.com, which is my own apparel, just like everybody else on the planet. Your body is your billboard, and I wear my shit all the time. So if you like it, get yourself one. That answers at least, those 100 questions about what shirt I'm wearing, which I think is crazy. But let's get to today's guest, all right? She's an actress. She's a lawyer. She's been on The Bachelor, fighting and screaming and torturing other women, I'm sure. And then she recently has been on SAS Australia, which is like the #1 show in Australia, maybe #2. I don't know. I don't live there. I don't get the ratings. I want to welcome Anna Heinrich to the show. Thanks for coming on board.
Thanks for having me. I'm actually surprised I'm doing this podcast because when you asked me, I was like, do I fit this? Can I survive this podcast? But I'm here. I'm going to give it my best shot. So
yeah, and I know that your best shot is usually pretty damn good. All right, The Bachelor or SAS? You picked SAS. What's your main because just from my perspective, with The Bachelor, you're living with a bunch of women. In SAS, you are living pretty raw it's a co-ed environment. Do you find that a little more, even though it was roughing it? Did you find that a little more entertaining and kind of easier to deal with than a bunch of women in a nice house? Or what do you think?
So I went to boarding school. So The Bachelor being, I think it was 23, 24 other women, was actually a whole lot of fun. But then it got quite difficult as well with all the women because they're all fighting for this one person. And I think it started showing later on towards, I think we're down to the last 5, and it's kind of like, do you want to talk to that other person? Because you're both after the same guy. So I think that was a really hard aspect of it. And also because it was the first time I'd ever done any TV or anything like that. So I was completely new. And like SAS, I walked into it going, oh my God, these women are amazing. Like, how am I even going to compete with these women? Because they're all incredible. And I think it was really tough because it was the first time I'd ever done this sort of thing. So one good thing I knew that I had on the other people going into SAS was that I kind of knew, even though it wasn't reality TV, I kind of knew what to expect to an extent. So I kind of, used that to my advantage. And I did love being able to chat to the guys and the girls in SAS. But the one thing I didn't want to do, I was like, I'm not going to have a shower. I'm not going to strip down because I know they'll definitely use it. So I'm like, nope, I'll have a shower. I think I had a shower maybe 3 times because I had pepper spray and all the other stuff. So that I found that difficult. And the bathroom situation with guys, where with the girls in The Bachelor, you actually had a proper toilet where you could shut the door. So,
yeah. And once again, for those listening with SAS, the recruits are living in this, it's a pretty realistic prison camp, if you will. I mean, it's a fenced-in berthing or barracks area, and they've got outdoor latrines, which is basically made of wood. It's in the open. You don't get any privacy. Same with the shower. The shower was just a faucet and a bucket with holes in the bottom. So it's not really even, I don't even know how usable that was other than just you get water out of the faucet and splash yourself,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely roughing it for you guys. And I was kind of curious, the thoughts of, oh my God, I got to take clothes off in front of these strangers, right? Like that had to have been did you even notice those moments? Like when we were standing on the beach and it was like, all right, take everything off. And then we hammered you guys. Was the moment so adrenaline packed that you really didn't care? Or did it cross your mind like, oh my God, I got to take my clothes off?
No, I I cared every time. And that was definitely something I was like, where is my towel so I can wrap it around? Like there are certain moments and most people, not me, just didn't care. They were like, I'm just in this situation. I'm so cold. I've got to put my clothes on. I've got to dry. So a lot of people didn't care.
Yeah.
But I did, and I always thought of that. So whenever we had to strip off, I literally was like, okay, where's my towel? Like, where are the cameras? So they're not like right there on me. And I did think about that. So I wish I didn't. Like, I just, and a lot of people, probably most people, if not everyone but me, they didn't care.
Right. Well, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and not even remember, like, oh, wait, there's a camera, pointed right at my ass.
Yeah, I know. No way.
Yeah. That's even I was like, I'll just look away.
Yeah, I know,
look over there. Give them their privacy.
But it's so funny because there's one of the girls at on SAS, and she hasn't really been shown a huge amount. And then the other night, she's like, "Oh, guys, the only time I've been shown is when I've got my clothes off." And it probably was like, and you could almost, they blurred out a few things, but it was like she hasn't really been shown a huge amount. And then literally the only time they just like lingered on her was when she was taking her clothes off.
Yeah, you got to wonder if the producers are like, we need to fill this little part of the show in with something. Naked shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're like going, where can we put in naked people?
Yeah.
We got to keep the audience attention. All right. All right, so beach or jungle? Of course, we did a lot of stuff in the jungle with SAS, but you picked the beach where we did a lot of stuff there too.
Yeah, but I was thinking more of just relaxing on the beach, not like actually working out on the beach and doing the sugar cookie? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, that's common. All right, that's common.
Yeah. But yeah, look, I actually don't love water. So I don't mind it, but I'm not someone who just goes for a swim every day. So that's another thing that was so hard going into this show. And I knew water would be involved. I didn't know how much because I didn't realize you would be on there. And I don't think anyone did. So a lot of people, Melissa Wu, who's an Olympic diver, she was afraid of water. Like we were just so shocked at seeing how scared she was of water, and she couldn't hold her breath for very long. Every time she went in there, she had almost like mini panic attacks, and a lot of people actually did. So I get it because I don't love water, and I think everyone's afraid of drowning. So if I could pick the jungle or the beach, I'd pick the beach if I could just relax and have a few cocktails. But probably SAS style, then maybe I'd pick the jungle.
Yeah, there you go. And I mean, it's funny, me going through, SEAL training and being a SEAL for 20 years and all that. Like to this day, I cannot stand soft sand. And it's because in training, we would always do these soft sand runs. Like running in soft sand is about as close as it get to just always trying to get out of quicksand, right?
Yeah.
It just sucks every step you take, your energy is just displaced into that sand. And mentally, like I never felt like I could ever like run that fast, even though everybody else was. But for me, soft sand was like this huge mental block. And to this day, I can't stand soft sand. But
you hated being there when we were all doing that. You're like, I feel pain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It all came back. Okay. And then the last one, working solo or working in a team. You picked the team.
Team any day. Like I just loved, and that's another, going back to SAS, I just loved that we were all there together. We were doing the exact same things. We all carried the same weighted Bergen or rucksack. It was completely equal in that regard, and that's what I loved about that. But I love other people. I love kind of chatting to people. I just love that environment. So I would never have done that on my own ever in a million years. So, and I think they can kind of lift you up and keep pushing you and moving you forward. So I think there's a lot of benefits from being surrounded by a team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I grew up in that teamwork environment, and it breeds competition, like healthy competition. So if you're with a team, even on those independent, like, solo type training, like if you're at the range, you're shooting your gun, but when you're shooting your gun with a group of other guys, all of a sudden that competitive spirit kicks in, and it makes everybody better. It makes everybody work harder in so many different ways. And I hear you. But I also got to work alone, and I enjoyed just having all of the success and all the failure reside solely on me. You know what I mean? Like if something goes wrong and it's all my fault, just that there's a high in that somewhere that forces you to make sure you do everything and you make sure you're successful.
Here's my husband. I can see you in the background.
He's like, I hear another man in the bedroom.
He's got his party pants on.
Hey, husband.
He helped with a lot of the training, and if I didn't have him, that's when I would have been on the treadmill at the gym. So he, whipped me into shape. That's for sure.
Awesome. Hey,
not taking it easy on it, and bringing out.
Oh yeah, no, she kicked ass. Good job training her, buddy.
Yeah, it's the first time I've listened to him ever. I was like, Dad, I know you know what you're doing, so I better listen.
I was just living vicariously through her still now as well. I would have loved to be there, but maybe next year might see you there.
I think I would do that.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so there you go, everybody. There's the Bachelor, and then so the very first Bachelor of Australia made a cameo appearance. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. That's funny. You're listening to Can You Survive This podcast? Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and share on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.